this is Casablanca. We chose Casablanca because geographically and historically it's always been seen as the gateway to sub-Saharan Africa, to Europe and to the Middle East. And so it has all these lots of different influences coming in. With this huge port, you have people coming into the city, people going out, and there's always these huge influences throughout history that really you can be reflected within the fashion that you find in the country or the city. So here you've got a designer called Said Maruf, and he absolutely encapsulates that story about the international scope of Casablanca as a city. So he was born in Morocco, and then when he was aged about 4, he moved to the Netherlands. He grew up in the Netherlands, was educated there. He went to university, studied design there. Then he went to New York, studied at Parsons. The aesthetic of his design is very much a Western aesthetic. So he says himself, I make no concessions in my designs to traditional Morocco. And this could be a 1930s Charles James, who was Anglo-American designer. There are influences of his heritage, so this is certainly to do with traditional techniques that happen in Morocco, but really his aesthetic is very much international in scope. So the fashion industry in Casablanca, well, it isn't a fashion industry, it's a very, very small group of people that are working to try and establish some sort of fashion identity for the city. There has been a growth in support by the government, so there's a school called Casa Moda, and really what the government is trying to do is train individuals so they are able to actually produce clothing, and they also want people to be able to be competent in design enough to be able to translate what's seen as current fashion. What they don't want really, or what they haven't invested in, are art schools where individuals can train to be, say, the next Alexander McQueen or the next John Galliano. They're not actually at that stage at this point in time. Joseph is very committed for Casablanca to be seen as a very, very creative city. There isn't yet the infrastructure behind that. Joseph is very interested in street fashion, which is what we've got shown here. At the end is an example of Joseph's own style, the clothes that he wears. And then there's young designers that are working within the city. So you've got Yassine working here. You've got Amin. This is a collaboration with Amin and the artist Hassan Ajaj, who's based in London, but originally from Morocco. And then this is a design duo, two sisters, called Jainoun. And street fashion is incredibly important for Casablancans because it's the way that they express themselves. They're beginning more to have the sort of shops that we would understand, but that's very much been in the last, say, 10 years. So street fashion for Casablancans, for young Casablancans, is incredibly important.